Before the video starts, check out the official Discord with the links in the description down below or on the screen right here for mobile users. We are a fast growing community, and if you want to join and speak to new people about the anime that we all love, or speak to me personally and get custom perks, check out the Major Dragon Discord and join our growing community within the Dragon Force. Now let's get on with the video. Before the video starts, I have a few things that I want to say real quick. Real quick for the video starts, there's a few things that I want to tell you guys for the little update for the channel. I know that some of you guys are a little bit upset because the second one that did not win on the poll was what if Goku was on the part with reincarnated as a slime. I know that one was really close. It was a really close voting poll, but unfortunately, the Goku with Destroyer and Angel Key won. And I know some of you guys are upset about it, and I am terribly sorry, but it is what it is. It won fair and square, but maybe I'll make it as a member video, maybe make it another time, and maybe I'll add it to the voting poll once again. But there is one big thing that I want to tell you. We are less than 500 subscribers away from breaking 30,000. I want you guys to please subscribe to the channel. It's free. It's super short. I want to break this goal by at least the end of this month or by the next month. I really want to break this goal, and then we're only 20,000 away from breaking 50,000. One other thing. The next poll will be channel history. For the first time, I will not be using a Goku What If. Now, there have been a few times where I have done different characters, such as Vegeta and Gohan and even Piccolo, actually. But I've always put them in the polls. Ever since I made the voting polls, they've always, really the ones that have won in the comments is Goku. So, I'm going to be taking a big chance on my channel, and I'm going to be letting Goku not be in the spotlight. So when the next what if ideas come up, I am going to put it on there as well. Non-Goku what ifs, such as Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo. Whichever one you guys want, post that there. And whichever one gets the most likes, I will add them to a voting poll, and it will be another character's story. I am taking a chance because I understand that Goku is the most popular character, and that's just common facts. Some people do have their favorites, but Goku all around is more popular. So if you guys do want to see that, I want to see the support for it. So if that is the case, and I do see a lot of votes, I see a lot of comments on it, then I will do it. It'll be a non-Goku what if, something that a lot of people have been asking me to do, so I'm going to be doing it. I know I've been rambling on, less talk, let's get into the video. For a what if like this to work, how would this be possible for Goku to have the destructive, raw power of a destroyer, but the peaceful and soothing, calm powerhouse energy of angelic divinity? How would this work? How would an infant be able to hold this power since he was born with it? Realistically, he would just die immediately. How we are going to work this is on Zeno's world. Zeno was bored. Beyond bored, actually. He doesn't have anyone to play with, he's really bored, and so he thought of a cool idea. After discussing with the Grand Priest for multiple months on end, they have a cool idea. Zeno would then tell the Grand Priest what he wants. As a member, Zeno can also see the future as well, and he looked into this and he sees what would happen, so he's fine with this. The Grand Priest would then go to Universe 7. Where Lord Beerus was taking a nap, but he was immediately woken up by, of course, the Grand Priest's arrival. The Grand Priest would then speak to Whis and Beerus personally, explaining that Zeno does have an experiment he wants to do for the mortals. He wants Whis and Beerus to give some of their energy and DNA to a child, to a newborn mortal, a being that can handle the power. Now, Beerus was absolutely shocked by this news, as how does this make sense? There's no way a mortal can handle that power. And the Grand Priest says, don't worry, I will manage that. But this is what Zeno wants, and you know that his way goes. He does see good things when he does this, so we need to find a mortal. And Whis says, well, there's not a lot of mortals that can handle the power of an angel and a destroyer. And the Grand Priest says, but no worries. Zeno has already told me of somebody who could potentially hold his power. Zeno does like his surprises. Now, what I think would happen here is Zeno would personally give Goku this power, as I think that Zeno does have access to angelic power and destroyer power. I mean, in reality, he did make the Grand Priest, so realistically, he would be able to do this. So it would make sense. So he would then travel, and we would either have the Grand Priest or Zeno go to Goku's pod, as Zeno knows that he wants to give this power to Goku. He sees Goku being a great friend, and he's excited to see this new experiment. As Zeno was bored, there's nothing for billions of years anyway, so he wants something to do. So while Goku was still in his pod, as he was still newborn, Zeno or the Grand Priest, either one of your wish, they would then give Goku the power. Now it was sealed away, meaning that as Goku matures and grows stronger, he will be able to unlock more of this power. And he would be able to get stronger. So now that Goku was given this power, of course, as he matures, as I just said, with age, he will be able to unlock more of his power as he reaches his mature age. So the same events would happen with Goku still landing on planet Earth. He would still be picked up by Grandpa Gohan, and the head injury would still happen because he doesn't have any of that power yet. But he would become a loving boy, and unfortunately, he would still turn into a great ape and sadly kill Grandpa Gohan. Now, the one difference here for Goku, in my personal opinion, is as he gets a little older, he's going to start getting much stronger naturally, just because his potential is still there. He has the potential of a deity, pretty much. His potential is ridiculous. So he is going to get stronger. Even the fact that he does do some slight sparring and survival, by the time that he meets Bulma, I think he's starting to unlock more of the power. As each year goes by, he's getting stronger and stronger because he's getting older and older. By this point, Goku's around 12, when the time he's around Bulma, as she shows up for the 4-star Dragon Ball. Goku, by this point, would roughly power level wise, he hasn't really learned how to control his energy, but I think just up pure raw strength as he was, I think he would be in the realm of around 200. Now, I know that sounds ridiculous, but you have to understand, his potential is so ridiculous, and the fact that he's getting older and older in age, his power will just naturally grow, even without the fact of just pure training or learning how to unlock his energy. That's just natural progression of age. As the more he's growing up, the stronger he's slowly going to become. And we'll definitely see his power fluctuate pretty high, especially when he gets a little older. And he starts really training. You'll see that in a little while. Now, Whis is tasked with watching over Goku. As the Grand Priest does, wouldn't mind keep an eye on him, but he has the trivial matters. And it is within Beerus' universe, they're tasked with watching him. Meaning that Goku cannot die, and Goku needs to become stronger as per Zeno's request. So, Whis will be watching him until he gets a little older and see how his adventure plays out. He has to wait on the Grand Priest's say-so to start training Goku, as this is per Zeno's request. Zeno wants Goku to enjoy his childhood and for him to do his normal thing, as Zeno knows that this is what Goku needs to become the better adult when he gets older, so he's not as crazy or cold-blooded. And Goku needs this to learn some better lessons in life, so Zeno lets Goku live out his childhood. So, they would still meet up with Bulma, and they would then meet Master Roshi. And they met Master Roshi because they found a turtle far off, bringing the turtle to the ocean, giving him seawater, and they would then meet the legendary turtle hermit, the Master himself. One of the most powerful beings on the planet at the time. He would then give them the 3-star Dragon Ball and the Flying Nimbus. Of course, when Goku jumps on it, he's pure of heart, so he can easily ride it no problem. As this was a reward for bringing him his turtle back and giving it water. Now, Master Roshi does know on how strong Goku actually is. Having a power level of 200 is not going to go unnoticed, immediately by Roshi especially. Now, of course, Goku is suppressing his power. Now, he's just doing it involuntarily because, again, he's not really good at controlling his energy, but Roshi can sense it pretty easily. He can sense just how strong Goku is, but though it's very uncontrollable. He can just sense this raw mountain of power just that's to swell up within him. It's almost like an ocean, and one drop was given. That's what Roshi can sense. And you can see the potential in the boy to become the most powerful being in the world, easily. He already technically is, he just has no technique or skill. So, he would then let Goku continue on his journey for the time being. Now, Goku would still stop the reign of a terrible Oolong, and the old woman would still give Bulma and him the 6-star Dragon Ball. Now, this is when Goku originally fought Yamcha, and even though, in my opinion, I still think Goku would get overwhelmed by Yamcha, because he was starving, and Goku was really woozy and he wasn't at his full strength. And yes, I know his power level is 200, but now mind you, he's woozy and not at full strength. I don't think that Yamcha really hurt him, but Goku couldn't really block or attack, so Yamcha did overwhelm him and knock him over, but it didn't really hurt him too much. Goku was okay. Now, When the time does come when Master Roshi uses the Kamehameha wave the first time to put out the flames on the Frying Pan Mountain, I think a little difference would happen here. We would then see Goku try to stop the flames by waving his hands. Now Goku's getting desperate and Roshi was just about to transform to then stop his fire. He would then see Goku's body then glow a white outline around his body. And then a big surge of energy would then push through his hands, as it was almost a key wind push, as almost like a key rush. A rush of wind from his energy then blows, and it completely blows out the fire, almost like blowing out a lighter. That's what would happen. And pretty much the whole tower and the whole pretty much Frying Pan Mountain was pretty much intact. The same with the castle. It was pretty much burned, but Goku was able to save it. Now they would, of course, look around. They would still find the 7-star Dragon Ball among the castle and mountain, and Goku would have defeated the Boss Rabbit gang, sending them to the moon. Now, Mai and Shu would still sneak while they're all sleeping and still steal the Dragon Balls from Goku. Now, when they do lock Goku up, or try to, Goku would be able to break out. He does not turn into a Great Ape this time and destroy the castle. He already does that with his own bare hands. Now, Oolong will still make the dirty wish because Goku's trying to destroy the tower, trying to look for them, and it would be too late. As now, this is when Goku would then meet back up with Master Roshi and become students after they found a new girl for Roshi named Launch. Now, Roshi would also move his house to a larger island, but that's just a fun little scene. But now, they would begin the next 7 months of training. Goku would learn discipline, hard work, respect, and how to eat well, train well, sleep well, learn well, and more. That's the ways of a turtle hermit. As Goku's power is continuously to rise very quickly. The fact that he's also doing strength training, Goku's getting a big buff in power. He is growing much stronger. He's also learning how to briefly control his energy. He was able to learn the Kamehameha wave or the Kamehameha that Master Roshi used very easily. When Roshi used it against the submarine, Goku was able to use it pretty easily and knock them back. So it goes to show you just how naturally gifted Goku was with learning energy. It's natural to him. This does help because he is a Saiyan, but at the time we didn't know that. We just thought that Goku was just a freak of nature. But then of course they would continue training, increasing the weight of their shells to over 40 kilos. Now I think with Goku, Roshi would have to make it even heavier, maybe 80 to 100, because Goku's so much stronger. But now of course the Red Ribbon Army saga would then begin shortly, as right before what happened, a day or so before, Goku, Krillin, and Master Roshi would then participate in the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament. Now, Master Roshi is under a secret alias known as Jackie Chun. Now, originally, Jackie Chun did win, barely, and Goku took second place. This time, not gonna happen. As with Goku being so strong, by this point his power level is in the 400s, as he got twice as strong. Master Roshi could not match Goku. Even at his full power, he couldn't beat him. Now, when Goku does turn into a Great Ape, his power is absurd. Master Roshi will destroy the moon, and that would then turn Goku back. He originally hit Goku, so that's the reason why. But his Kamehameha would not injure Goku at all in the Great Ape state, but he does destroy the moon, and Goku reverts back to normal. Now, of course, Goku and the Red Ribbon Army would begin the treacherous search for their Dragon Balls. The fact that Goku is so much stronger, none of their mech pirate bots, none of their military, none of their soldiers could touch Goku. Goku is way too strong. He's 4 to 5 times stronger than he originally is. He's going to blitz through everybody in his path, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing that they can do. Goku's just too strong. So how are they going to defeat someone like Goku? They're not. Even if they did have Android 8 called Aider, he wouldn't be able to match Goku either. Goku's too strong. But now, of course, this is when we would have Goku fight Colonial Silver. Now, he would easily defeat the White Corp and Muscle Tower, defeating them. Now, Bulma would still repair the Broken Dragon radar, and Goku would then confront General Blue. Now, the fight eventually did land in Penguin Village, but if it did, Goku would just one-shot General Blue and defeat him. Ariel would not need to jump in to help Goku. Now, Mercenary Tao originally did kill General Blue, and he beats Goku at the base of Korn's Tower. If they did fight at the base of Korn's Tower, Mercenary Tao would not have killed General Blue because he was already defeated. If he tries attacking Goku, Goku would have easily won. He would try his techniques on Goku, but Goku's too strong. he would one-shot Mercenary Tao right in the face, Hercule to Trunk style, and he would have knocked him right out and defeated him. Now, Goku would still climb the top of Korin's tower, and he would begin his training to take the sacred water. Now, I think that after a few days, he would actually take the water, and this would unlock some of his power. Now, with this new power, he would annihilate the entire Red Ribbon Army. And he would also participate in Fortune Teller Baba's battle arena, where he would fight and reunite with his dead grandfather. Now, for the next 3 years, Goku originally trained to run around the world in the Chao village to fight Plague and Terror. Goku would also meet Master Chin and fights the Sky Dragon and the Master of Martial Arts contest. Goku would also enter the Demon World and fight Shula, and Goku saves Inishi Kochu and meets Tien Shinhan for the first time. That's for the 3-year gap that he was doing. But now, of course, Goku would then swim to Papa Island, where the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament shall take place. The 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament takes place as Tien Shinhan originally beat Goku barely, but it was a close match, and Goku would come in second place. This time, Goku's power level is much higher. His power level was around 400. The fact he's been training for 3 extra years, getting stronger and older, he's 16 years old now. Now, he hasn't hit his Saiyan growth spurt yet. Once when it's about 16 to 18, they somehow get the gains, and they get like a foot taller, and they're a fully grown adult within less than 2-3 years. Like, it's literally kind of stupid how fast the growth spurts of a Saiyan actually is. But now, of course, we are now going to carry on for what would happen to Tien Shinhan. Even with some of his abilities, Goku would absolutely annihilate Tien Shinhan and knock him out of the ring. It would not be a competition. Goku's power level by this point is in the 600s to 800s. He's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Krillin would unfortunately still be killed by Tambourine, and DB King Piccolo still appears. Now, he's still old because he did not wish for the Dragon Balls. Now, Goku would meet Yajirobe, and he would kill Tambourine easily. Once when Goku crosses paths with Demon King Piccolo, in the original, he was easily defeated. And then, unfortunately, Master Roshi and Chaozu were also killed by Demon King Piccolo, who he would then use the Dragon Balls to restore his youth. He would then attack the King's Castle and take over Earth. And then this is when Yajirobe takes Goku up to take Korin's sacred water, and he would be able to defeat Demon King Piccolo in one final battle. But now we're going to reverse, and this fight will end much faster. Goku, when he does meet up with old Demon King Piccolo for the first time, Demon King Piccolo senses how strong Goku is. So either he runs away, which I don't think would happen, Goku would catch him, Goku would punch right through his stomach and nearly kill him. Now, to keep Kami alive, and because we need him, Demon King Piccolo would still have enough energy to spit out an egg, thus having Piccolo Jr., his last offspring, and his reincarnation in a way, as he would then explode and pass on. Now, by this point, Goku would originally climb up Korin's tower to continue training, but Korin doesn't really have much to teach him, so after getting pretty much the new staff that he has, he would then use the power pole. He would then use this to get to the reach of the lookout, and he would train there for the next 3 years with Mr. Popo and Kami. Now, when Goku does begin his training on Kami's lookout, Kami would also restore the planet's moon for safety reasons. He also permanently removes Goku's tail so that he can never become Uzaru again. Now, as for Tien, Yamcha, Krillin, and Chaozu, they would also climb up Korin's tower, and they would begin training under Korin. Now, after training with Korin, they would then split up to train on their own for the remaining time before the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament would then take place. Now, Goku would still meet up with his allies, as now he was a young man, being 18 to 19 years old. Now, this is when, in my opinion, Goku would still meet up with Chi-Chi. I know some Chi-Chi fans are not happy, but still, Goku would still get married to Chi-Chi. That would go the same, because Goku is the same mentally. He would have still met Chi-Chi, and he would have still thought that marriage was some kind of food. Now, Goku originally would have said no, but he thought that marriage was some kind of food, and he did say that he promised her, so they would still get married. That would just go the exact same. Now, what about Piccolo Jr.? Well, Piccolo Jr. would have more motivation because he knows how strong Goku is. He would continue training to become as strong as possible. His power level before was around 306, 316 or so, 324, as it wasn't a huge power level. Now, at the time it was. But against Goku, whose power level is easily in the thousands or more, because now he's a full-grown adult, he is getting stronger, much stronger now. He hasn't had God training yet, but he will get there. He is easily in the tens of thousands by this point, just to point out how strong he is. Piccolo, even if he had more motivation to train and become stronger, we all know how this would go. Piccolo would try every technique on Goku, and in my opinion, his power level would be around 500, which is already a couple hundred stronger, which is a big power up at this time. Even if he had that, plus his giant form, plus all of his techniques, even a special beam cannon, which is way too early, but even if he did come out, or what if Frieza had one, it wouldn't have worked, even though he doesn't. But let's just say he did for fun, it would still not match Goku. He would just slap the attack out of his hand, and it would not do any effect. It would just be a 2,000 power that he would slap out of his hand. Now, of course, Goku would have knocked out Piccolo, but he spares his life, because he knows that if Piccolo's gone, then Kami is gone as well. And then they lose the Dragon Balls, so he cannot lose Piccolo. Since Piccolo's life was then spared, Piccolo would then, of course, say that he'll have revenge. These will be a story, but in reality, we know that Piccolo becomes the best Unk ever. Now, the events of the Saiyan arc. Now, during these 5 years, we're going to see a big change in the story. This is when Whis would finally make himself known to Goku. Goku, during these 5 years, I would say the first year or two, would be out doing some light training, collecting firewood in the forest a little bit away from his home. He would then sense a presence. At a power level, he could just feel a pressure. As he turns around to see who it was none other than Whis. Whis would then make himself known, telling Goku about him, and before he says anything, he says, "My name is Whis, and I want to challenge you to a quick match." Goku, of course, would never turn down a match, as after sensing Whis' basically spirit, not his energy, he can see that Whis is not really evil, nor is he purely good. He's kind of middle. So he doesn't have any evil intentions. He doesn't sense any evil aura from him. So, of course, he's never going to turn down a fight. He agrees, and Goku would then charge in at Whis, and they will go back and forth. But Goku can't even land a single hit on Whis, as Whis effortlessly dodges every single attack. Whis is impressed that a Saiyan that's on Earth has this much raw power and skill is very impressive. Being on Earth, imagine if he was in his own gravity, he would be way stronger. Goku by this point has a power level of around 3,000, as it's only been about a year, so he is a lot stronger. And then Goku would then go full power, charging up to 5,000, and he would continue trying to hit Whis, but he can't even touch him. As then Whis would even stand still and use his finger, which he would then catch Goku's attack. He would then lightly neck chop Goku and knock him out unconscious. As he would then wait, as Goku would then slowly wake up, Whis was kind of impressed. He's definitely the strongest on this planet for sure, not in the universe, but definitely on the planet. Whis would then tell more about himself, as he wouldn't hide any info as that's per Zeno's request. Now, he's not going to tell Goku that he's an experiment for Zeno's boredom. He's not going to say that. But he explains who he is, that he's an angel, and there are 12 universes, he's universe 7, and explain it all to Goku multiple times because Goku's too clueless to realize it. Well, Goku then figures it out, and he asks Whis, why is he here? And Whis says, because you have immense potential within you, and I'm going to help you unlock more of that power. But it will take a long time, but we will be able to start working on it. Now, Whis will begin training Goku while he's on Earth for the time being, as they are hidden enough. And Whis would even offer Goku to leave and to come train on his world, which I think after some persuading with Chi-Chi, would they agree? Well, I think at first Chi-Chi would not be with it, as Goku's just dumping to go get some cigarettes. That's not good. But I think Goku would be able to work out with Whis, and Whis will start training him there for the time being, until Gohan gets a little bit older. Maybe then he can leave for a few months to go train on the planet. So, for the next 5 or so years, 4 to 5 years, life would go practically the same, except Whis comes around and trains with Goku, helping him unlock more of his power. Now, Goku is having an easier time using the Angel's power, which is Ultra Instinct, is the main thing for mortals. The more destruction energy, that's a later task, as it seems like more of the Angel side is naturally Goku's talent. The Destroyer side is a bit of a different story. Now, what about the events of the Saiyan saga? So, Whis would not be on Earth at this time, as he would be, of course, tending to Beerus, but Goku is much stronger. He's so much stronger, it's ridiculous. He's been training with Whis, for goodness sakes, for years on end, and in the final year, he did go to Beerus' world for a year, almost a year, where he did the chores. He had to change Beerus's pillows and his sheets, and not get completely crushed by Beerus and be basically blown apart by a sneeze. But he was able to get some tuna and persuade Beerus, and he was able to do the chores, cut the grass and everything, do his normal thing with the weighted suit that he had on, thus increasing his power. Now, how strong is this version of Goku? Well, power levels start to become redundant, so we're going to start using some basic power scaling, but Raditz will still show up to Earth. Goku will still be showing up Gohan to everybody as the first time that they're all meeting. He would then explain that Gohan's his son. That would all go the same. Goku can sense Raditz nearby, and he feels that Raditz is heading towards Earth. Now, mind you, when Raditz does arrive, he then finds his brother, and he sees that he has a power level over 1,000, which worries him, but he then heads there anyway. He then sees his brother on this planet with some humans. He gets instantly offended because Goku also lost his tail, and he removed it, which Raditz sees as a disgrace. He then tells Goku that he failed doing his mission, but as the big brother, he'll let him slide. He just needs to make sure that he's loyal, so he tells him to make sure to leave at least 100 bodies here on this island, and then he pledges his loyalty, and then they'll go back to Frieza. Of course, Goku completely just declines, saying that he's never going to do that, and for Raditz to get off the planet, this is his final warning. Raditz would then hit Krillin, and then he would try taking Gohan. Unfortunately for Raditz, when he does try to take Gohan, Goku would immediately end that, and he would then hit Raditz away. Now, Raditz would be shocked with Goku's power as he saw his power level spike. Goku would begin powering up as Raditz would then scream out that his power level was shooting past 24,000, 28,000, 30,000 before it blows up. Now, who heard that? Vegeta and Nappa. They would be interested as they think it must be a fluke, but they'll go see what it is. They'll begin heading their way towards Earth. Now, Raditz would, of course, not be able to match Goku. Even if he went Great Ape, it wouldn't have mattered. Goku would have won. So, Goku would then tell Raditz to get off my planet and get out of here. As Raditz would then take the hint, he has to tell Vegeta and Nappa what's going on. He would then make his way back to the space pod and then head towards Vegeta and Nappa. Unfortunately for Raditz, when he does meet up, Vegeta did not forget the promise that he told him, and he would have still killed Raditz, thus ending his life. But now, of course, on to different things. We would then have Vegeta interested, so he would then make his way towards planet Earth. And now, mind you, of course, with Vegeta heading there, he's going to have a bad case of wake up and a bad case of a can of whoop ass, because he's going to realize that once when he arrives, how strong Goku is. Well, what are they going to do? Because now Raditz did warn of a Saiyans arriving within a year's time. Now, what I think would happen here is there would be no King Kai. There would be no need. Goku, of course, has all the training he needs under Whis. So, when he does ask Whis to show up, which Whis does, he then asks Whis who is Vegeta and Nappa. Now, Whis does know who Vegeta is. He explains that at their current power level, they have zero chance at matching you, Goku. You can defeat them with absolute ease. Goku would still take this chance, and he would still leave to go to Whis' world to continue training, as that's what Whis wanted anyway. This would then leave Gohan to go train with Piccolo, and the Z Fighters would go do their own thing, training under Kami and Popo. So they're all prepared. So now, a year would then pass. Goku would not be late this time, or would he? Remind you, it takes around 20 or so minutes for them to arrive to Earth through Whis' staff, as it's almost as long as a Dragon Ball episode. Funny enough, his Beerus jokes. As now, Goku would then see that the Saiyans have arrived on Earth. He then tells Whis we gotta go. Whis would then use his staff and go there as fast as he possibly can, which he could then shave off a few more minutes. But it was 15 minutes of hell, as Vegeta and the others, they were just blitzing through them. He would still place a Cyberman, and Yamcha and them would still die. I still personally think that Piccolo would still die. And the reason why I say this is because he would still defend Gohan's life, because they then sense a power level heading right towards them. Now, once when this does happen, of course, Goku would then show up. Now, what Whis would then do is Whis would bring Piccolo back to life. He would then aim his staff, and Piccolo would be resurrected immediately. They were shocked that this was even possible, as they don't know what this being is, but Goku would beg Whis to do it, telling him that we need Piccolo. And Whis would give this gift to Goku because Goku's been pretty good. As long as Goku promises one thing. He promises to fight Lord Beerus and consider becoming a god of destruction when the time does come. If Zeno permits that. Which Goku would of course have to agree. To consider, not fully do it. It's actually up to Zeno what he really wants. It's not really up to Goku or Whis, really. It's up to Zeno's boredom and what project he really wants to work on. Well, now, we would now have Goku show up to fight Nappa and the others. Piccolo and them would then all get back and get away, as Whis would not resurrect the others because he only does it for one person. And it is kind of against the rules. He doesn't want to do that. He only did it for Piccolo. So Piccolo's brought back to life, Gohan's relieved and happy, and then they would then leave it at that. As now, Goku would then turn his full attention to Nappa and Vegeta. Now, Whis is confident, saying, "You have this all under control, Goku, good luck." And he would then disappear, telling him to remember his training and not to drop his guard. So, Goku would then step forward and he would start fighting Nappa. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, against the likes of Nappa, with Goku, this version, yeah, Nappa's dead. Nappa would try to fight Goku. Goku would easily do a Kaioken Blitz move that he did on Nappa, and no, not the actual Kaioken, the actual style that he did where he broke his back, just without the Kaioken this time. Honestly, I think he would do a raccoon shots where he would elbow him right in the stomach and he'd be knocked over. That's when I think Vegeta would then throw him into the air and he would completely blitz him, killing him. And that would just show you how OP Goku actually is. And it really show you just how OP Vegeta is too. Now, Vegeta, of course, would be interested in Goku, so the fight would begin. They would walk away, fly off to a rocky wasteland where there's no animals or people around. Now, their fight would be intense, with, of course, Vegeta getting absolutely slapped around by Goku. There's nothing intense about it. Vegeta would, of course, be flashy, going full power. Against Goku, he does no damage to Goku. Goku dodges every attack, and if he does let Vegeta land a hit on him, it does pretty much 0 damage. So Vegeta, out of desperation, would then fire a Gallic Gun at Goku, who would then slap it away with absolute ease, like it was a paper towel. It would be 0 effort. Slap it out of the way as it flies out in space, shocking Vegeta. And Vegeta's running out of options. But he sees that Goku doesn't have a tail. He can take advantage of this. So he would then transform himself into a Great Ape. Using the Great Ape power, with a new power level being well over 160 to 180,000, he would then start to try and attack Goku. Now, he would fare a little better, but against his version of Goku, he has 0 chance. Goku would block every attack with absolute ease. As he then got serious, he then blocks this massive fist with just a pinky finger, showing how strong he actually has become. And he would then deliver a few powerful shots to Vegeta's stomach, destroying his armor and knocking him over. Goku would then use his hand, and he would actually, form a little Kienzan attack, or use a Ki Ball, and destroy Vegeta's tail. This would then revert Vegeta back to normal. The Prince of All Hairlines is now back to normal, and he would then be at a loss. He would still try to attack Goku because his pride would not let him go until he's dead. Goku would still slap him around. Vegeta would have no energy. Goku would then let him go because he didn't indirectly kill anybody. He's giving him a chance, like how he did to Piccolo. So he would then fly off on his own and dip out, thus starting the Frieza arc. Now, some people speculate that, would Frieza head towards the Namek saga? That wouldn't make a lot of sense for him to head towards Namek. Now, in reality, they'll just use the Dragon Balls to wish Tien Shinhan and them back. The only person who couldn't theoretically come back would be Krillin and them because he's already dead. But it was Tien and Yamcha, so they're good. They were wished back and everything is good to go. Now, Frieza would never go to planet Namek because he never heard about the Dragon Balls, so he has no interest and he leaves it out. He is a little worried about how Vegeta lost easily, even in his Great Ape state, where he's even more powerful than Captain Ginyu, as Frieza notes, to a low-class Saiyan. But there's something different about it he can tell. So, Frieza is a little curious. He would then send some of his men over to go see what this was all about. Some of the men would arrive on Earth, but they were defeated. He would then even send the likes of Zarbon and Dodoria. They would then have been defeated as well, making Frieza angry. He would then head towards Earth himself. He would then also contact the Ginyu Force and tell them what's going on. The Ginyu Force would then head out straight ahead. Now, the Z-Fighters would start doing gravity training, as it makes sense, because Goku did originally train in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber. He knows about heavy-weighted training. He knows all about it. So, Goku would then use this, and on top of the fact he also trained in the weighted suit with weighted gravity because of Whis' staff. So he does know all about it. Bone would then make a machine, so the Z-Fighters can train in gravity, same with everybody else, thus making them much stronger. Now, when the Ginyu Force does show up, the only threat would be Ginyu with his Change Now technique. But that wouldn't work on Goku because Goku's too fast. He would either activate an early version of Ultra Instinct and just slide out of the way, or the fact that he is so strong that he can just completely deflect the attack, and with his raw speed, He's just too quick, and he would just blitz out of the way, and he would one-shot Captain Ginyu. The Ginyu Force has absolutely zero chance. It would have been treated like basically Guldo and Raccoon. They just got their head chopped off and their stomachs punched, and they were done. That's practically what would happen here. They have absolutely zero, dead zero chance. The change now technique would not work. It's too slow. So Captain Ginyu and them would have been killed and destroyed. This is when Vegeta does return, and he does work with Kakarot in a way to help him fight Frieza. Now, when Frieza does show up to planet Earth, Frieza is fuming. Now, of course, this match with Goku would be a legendary fight, but unfortunately for Goku, and unfortunately for Frieza mainly, Goku has the unfortunate event of dealing with boredom, because he thought that Frieza was all tough. But even if Frieza went into his final form, went full power, even if he stacked a more buff mode than that, would it be able to match Goku in his strength? Well, Goku's been holding back. He's not been going full strength at all. Mind you, this has been years he's been training with Whis. This is when Goku, in my opinion, would then showcase Super Saiyan God, showing it to Frieza. And Frieza was shocked that Goku had this power. He thought it was the Super Saiyan in a way, but this pressure reminds him of Beerus because it's God energy. Goku would explain that it's Super Saiyan God, and everyone was shocked to see that Goku does have this power. And unfortunately for Frieza, if he did try to fight Goku, even in Goku's base form, even if he didn't have transformation, Frieza would have been defeated. There's nothing that he can do against this version of Goku. Goku was just too freakishly strong. He would have beaten Frieza with ease, and he would have ended Frieza. And I think Frieza would have been killed because he would try blowing up the planet. Now, there would be a little mini arc to where a couple of years later, Trunks would still show up from the original future timeline. Now, that would all go the same. Vegeta's off because he's trying to get stronger. He would unlock Super Saiyan like he did in the original. That would go the same. Now, Trunks would be shocked to see how different this timeline is. But when he does find Goku, he meets up with him and conversates with him about the androids. And he also gives him the heart virus so that Goku can change the future and make things different. Or what if last ended with Goku defeating the mighty Frieza, as not even Frieza could even match Goku's raw power. Goku was just far too strong, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing that Frieza could do against this version of Goku. The events will still take place, as this time Goku never went to planet Yardrat. Goku would still be to Whis' world to continue his training. Now, the one difference here is when Trunks does show up from the original future timeline, he is very puzzled on how everything is different. He didn't find Goku. Goku did not show up at the time that he was supposed to. He doesn't know what to do. So the next thing he needs to do is go to Goku's home. Luckily, Goku was here visiting Chi-Chi because she was always nagging him about him not being around. So, we would then have Trunks interacting with Goku. With those two interacting together, Trunks would be shocked to see why Goku's here so early. He doesn't remember him being here. But one thing is how powerful Goku actually was. Now, remember, Goku is not really immortal much anymore, but he does have angelic and destroyer energy giving to him, but Trunks can just feel the pure pressure off him at the least. He can sense that Goku, this is not the Goku that he should have seen. He would then ask Goku questions. Goku would of course explain his whole adventure, with him meeting Whis and Beerus and the others, learning about his heritage, fighting Raditz and Vegeta. But the biggest thing was this Whis and Beerus beings. He doesn't remember that ever happening. That never happened. Did him going back in time really change this much? He then challenges Goku to a small match. He showcases Super Saiyan, and then he goes to fight Goku. Now, Goku was in base form, and he would then block with his finger. He wasn't even trying, but he was impressed with how strong Trunks was. And the reason why he held back was because he knew that Trunks was not trying to attack him with malicious intent. So he wasn't trying to kill Goku. He says that if he didn't, he'd have probably been cold cut, so honestly. And Trunks was just amazed with how strong Goku actually was. So, Trunks would then tell Goku everything. Everything about the future. He would also explain that these androids would arrive within 3 years' time, and they are extraordinarily powerful, beyond anything that Goku has ever seen. And he explains that these androids are cold-blooded. They've murdered everyone that they know. Gohan, Piccolo, Vegeta, even his master, aka Gohan, is now gone. Everybody. And Goku says, wow, they're that strong, they even defeated me? And he says, no, unfortunately, before the androids showed up, you succumbed to a heart virus and got very sick. which did let Goku down because, man, he's gonna die to the heart virus? Man, that sucks. He really wanted to fight the androids if they're that strong. And Trunks is a bit perplexed by his weird attitude towards death, but he explains that no, this is why I came here as well, to change it. And he would then give Goku the heart virus medicine, explaining that if there is any symptoms, then he needs to take this immediately and he will begin to recover. And Goku would thank Trunks for this, and then Trunks would then explain where the androids will be, what time and the date, and how many years, and he would then take his leave. So Goku would then meet up with the rest of the Z Fighters and explain the best that he can. They understand the assignment. He would leave out the fact that Trunks is also the child of Vegeta and Bulma, because of course you don't want them having that. And of course Trunks still has to be born. So the same 3 years would then pass. The one difference is, would Goku go to Whis' world? I don't think so. I think he would stay here and he would train with Piccolo and Gohan just like the original to help Gohan and Piccolo catch up. Now, Piccolo and Gohan, mind you, they will be slightly stronger because they have a stronger Goku fighting against them, so they will get a bigger buff in power, especially Gohan getting more Zenkais and his natural potential. And Piccolo has also slept on his potential as well, but it goes to show you that even Piccolo will be a bit of an interesting turn there you'll see later on. As Vegeta, of course, he never saw Super Saiyan officially, but I think we're just going to say that he travels off in space to find a way to surpass Kakarot. And that way he would still unlock Super Saiyan on his own. That would go the same. And he would want to challenge Goku when they have the chance, but versus the android. So after 3 years, the Z Fighters were all ready, and then they prepared. As then, they would be ready for their fight against the powerful androids. They would arrive at the same spot just like before, but this time, when Trunks does arrive to help them, of course, these androids are different. They're not the same ones that he fought. It was Dr. Gero and Android 19. Now, Major Dragon, will the androids be stronger because Goku's so much stronger? Well, one thing you have to realize as well is Dr. Gero's technology can only go so far. There's no way that he will be able to dissect Goku's DNA and get Angel and God DNA, and especially get like the key and etc. with that. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. So the version of Cell with DNA wouldn't work. Even if he was able to take some of the energy, it would just Hakai everything and destroy it all. There's no way that he would be able to pretty much siphon that into technology. Though these androids are slightly stronger, Dr. Gero's technology is still limited to his time. He can only make them so strong. They were already stronger than the future timeline version. So these androids will not be as powerful as some people may think they are. I know that might disappoint some people, but it's more realistic. There's no way that these androids would be like a god level threat. Same with Cell. That doesn't make any sense. Now, Goku would start slapping around Android 19 just like we originally thought, but unfortunately the heart virus will still take over no matter what, as Goku was toying with Android 19 as we saw, but his attacks are becoming less and less futile as of course the heart virus would begin to take over. So Goku was then sent to Kami's house where he would begin to starting to recover slowly. Now, this is when Bulma, who would then yell up to Whis, who's looking through his staff, she explains that Goku needs help, he's dying because of a heart virus, and Whis did not know of this, but now he's worried. And he knows that if Goku dies, Zeno will destroy them all. So he would then quickly make haste to Earth, as it would take him around 20 Earth minutes, or 20 minutes, which is about an anime episode, as Beer says on GodTube. Well, during this time, Dr. Gero would be able to escape, and he would still activate the androids. Now, Vegeta would still be confident to go fight these androids, and Android 18 would overwhelm Vegeta and defeat him like the original. And Piccolo would do okay-ish. He is relatively stronger, able to actually keep up with Vegeta. Saw that Vegeta lost, so Piccolo would lose as well. Piccolo knows that he needs to get stronger, so he would then fly up to go meet up with Kami to then fuse. Now, one thing to note though, okay, if Kami does fuse with Piccolo, that means that they lose the Dragon Balls, which is a big L. Yes, I do think that Piccolo would then fuse with Kami. I think that would still happen. Kami would just explain that Popo knows what to do for them to get the Dragon Balls after this is over. And Piccolo would agree. And Popo knows what to do, as Kami worked his plan out. So they would then fuse into one being, thus creating Piccolo, the perfect Namekian. With this new power, Piccolo would be able to fly after Android 17 and have a match between him, as by this point, Whis would finally arrive. Now, Cell would also make himself known as he already attacked Piccolo, And now he's stalking 17 and Piccolo as they're having their match. He's waiting for the right moment to strike. Now, Piccolo and 17 will still have their legendary match. Piccolo is, remember, 17 is stronger than the original 17, but Piccolo is stronger as well. So they're about evenly matched. But this is when Cell would then appear when they're weakened, and he would be able to absorb 17, thus becoming second form Cell. While this is happening, Goku was finally healed with Whis, and he would then sense the massive power jump, and Cell was now in his second form. And now he was heading towards Android 18 to absorb her, as 16 was powerless to stop it. Now Tien would try using his Tri Beam, which would stun Cell briefly as he was spamming the attack. This did work on Cell before. I don't think it would be as effective as Cell is continuing to slowly walk forward towards 18. This is when Goku would then go as fast as he could, then kicking Cell away into the sides of the island, and Cell would then get up as he sees Goku. This is when we would have either Tien or Krillin, 16 really, fly off with 18 far away, so now Cell cannot even find them. This is when Goku would then challenge Cell outright, and he knows that Cell needs to be destroyed as fast as possible. But Goku can sense another key signature in there, and maybe he could save him, but he doesn't know how. But he's going to do his best. As he would start fighting Cell, Goku has the clear advantage. Goku would then even showcase his Super Saiyan form, if he even had one, or if he did as well. And as well on top of this, Goku could go even further. Goku would then showcase Super Saiyan God, and Cell was not expecting to see this in his kind of scans, as he can't sense his energy. This is when Goku would then deliver a massive gut punch to Cell's stomach, similar to how Gohan did, and this would then make Cell forcefully spit out 17, thus reverting back to First Form Cell. As First Form Cell, he has no chance against Goku. Goku's not going to waste any time, and he would then blast Cell to oblivion, completely incinerating Cell, thus leaving no trace. Now, this is the case, then 17 and 18 would then be free, as they are not really evil at all, same as 16. This does change the story. Of course, this means that the Z Fighters never went to the Room of Spirit in time yet, and this also means that Cell would never become Perfect Cell, have a fight with Ascended Vegeta, Gohan would train with his father for a year, step out as Master Super Saiyans, go to fight Cell in the Cell games. Hercule would also not get the recognition that he originally had, but I still think he would still be the world hero, but not as large as he was. But he's still the world champ. He has to have all the money and fame. He is the strongest after all. He could have one-shot anybody, probably even Goku and Beerus if he wanted to, but of course, Hercule holds back on purpose to kind of give them the respect that he deserves. It is Goku's show, but if Hercule wanted to, it could be called Goku and his friends. Well, now we would then have peace. Now, one thing though, Trunks would then ask Goku for help. He would then ask Goku to train with him and help him get stronger, because he wants to be strong enough to go to his timeline to defeat the androids. And Goku knows the perfect place, the Room of Spirit in Time. So him and Trunks would then step into the Room of Spirit in Time. All the while, Popo would then also bring Piccolo, and maybe even Bulma and the others, to then go to Namek. Setting the coordinates, they would then head to Namek within a very quick time. Now, mind you as well, Whis doesn't even need the fact of a spaceship. He can just bring them to Namek, as he says, oh, I know where it is. I can bring you right there if you want. Because Whis knows that Goku needs us to protect them. So they would then head right to Namek, as it would be Bulma and Piccolo would then head there. Then they would then arrive on Namek. Of course, they would befriend the Earthling, and of course Piccolo would be befriended there. They would then bring him to the likes of the new Grand Elder, as Elder Guru has sadly passed away in this timeline, but the new Grand Elder does have Elder Guru's powers. When Elder Guru was passing away, if you guys remember, he unlocked a lot of people's potential. And this did weaken his life force, so he wasn't able to transfer himself to another Namekian. But since he didn't do this, like the original, he would then transfer and fuse with Mori, who is now the new Grand Elder. He's a bit larger in size, taller than Whis now, being about 8 to, I would say about 10 foot tall or so, 11 foot tall. He would be able to unlock Piccolo's potential, thus making him even stronger. He would even unlock Bulma's potential as well, which I know doesn't really increase her power level of strength, but it does increase the potential of her mind. As Bulma feels smarter than ever, she feels way smarter. As Bulma now has new ways that she can maybe figure things out and make new machines and more. As Bulma's not much of a physical character, she's more of the mental character. But she is physically stronger as well. Like, we're not going to say that she's weak, as it was able to double, nearly triple their power. If Bulma has a power level of around a 4 to a 5, then Bulma's actually kind of strong if she's able to triple her power. She's actually stronger than Kid Goku was when he met up with her, meaning that she can survive things such as gunfire and more. Which is kind of weird because Hercule was able to get shot by a gun, but that's either way. Maybe it's low caliber. But she's in the realms of course, Kid Goku, who was able to knock out a person and survive bullet fire. So Bulma is actually superhuman level, surprisingly. But anyway, we are going to carry on, as now we would then have them heading back to Namek within a few short minutes, and Goku and Trunks would then step out hours later, as Trunks was now stronger than ever. Having fully mastered Super Saiyan and more, Trunks was more than ready to go back to his timeline and fix things that had been done. He would then thank everybody and he would then take his leave. Now, with Trunks also training with Goku, Goku is a genius when it comes to fighting. He would then teach Trunks how to train on his own. And with Trunks learning this, Trunks would now know how to train correctly. Training the right way is a huge thing in Dragon Ball growth, as if you have the beings such as Vegeta. Vegeta's drive and how hard he trains is unmatched. Vegeta's hard work to training is unparalleled. But he trains too hard, and he doesn't look for steps to become stronger like how Goku does. Goku has the perfect experience training-wise of rest and more. That's why he's able to keep up with the likes of Vegeta, who has much more potential than him. And the likes of Gohan, who has inexperience. He doesn't know how to train very well. That's the reason why Gohan never got super strong, unless it was Piccolo and the others helping him. That's the reason why future Gohan never got as strong as he did, because he doesn't really know how to train. He was more or less surviving. So Trunks here, being taught by Goku, and Trunks has amazing potential, goes to show you just how strong Trunks is actually going to become. So now that that is over, Trunks would then take his leave and head right back to his future timeline and easily defeat the androids and easily defeat Cell. They have no chance against this version of Trunks. This also means that when Trunks does prepare to go fight Majin Buu with the Supreme Kai would never die. Because this version of Trunks is so much stronger because he actually kept his training up, so he knows how to fight. Since this is the case, the Supreme Kai would survive. This means that Beerus is alive, which means that Zamasu would technically never take over Goku's body and become Goku Black. That would never happen. And if he did, with the fact that the Supreme Kai is alive, Beerus would have still showed up to challenge a god. Of course, he's impressed. Trunks would have had Super Saiyan God, maybe even Super Saiyan Blue, by the time that Goku Black would have ever arrived, but that's a whole other later story that we're going to jump into. Maybe the Goku Black arc does happen. Never know. Maybe another being will appear. But of course, now that the Cell Saga was now finished, and Trunks was now ready to fix his timeline, there would finally be peace. Now, what about the Majin Buu arc? Now, with the Majin Buu arc, before we jump right on into it, I do think there would be a little middle arc. That middle arc will be for Vegeta and Goku. Vegeta has beef with Goku, and he wants to settle the score. And I think after a few years, when Vegeta learns to master Super Saiyan, I think even unlocking Super Saiyan 2, because of how hard he's training himself, he would then outright challenge Goku to a match to prove who is the strongest. And with this new form, he might have a chance. Now, of course, Goku would instantly accept this, as they would then go to the Rocky Wasteland, and the two would begin their matchup. Vegeta has Super Saiyan 2, and of course Goku in his normal state. Goku would go Super Saiyan, even Super Saiyan 2 out of respect for Vegeta, and the two would then clash back and forth. Now, the one difference here is you have the fact that Goku is so strong. Unfortunately for Vegeta, though he does give valiant effort, and Goku is having fun, Goku's holding back massively, Vegeta has no chance, and Vegeta does respect that Goku's number one for now. As then, we would also have the likes of Goku and Vegeta finally training on Whis' world during the 7 years. Vegeta would be able to get on Whis' world alongside Beerus and Beerus' world, and they'll begin their training. Vegeta, within a few months' time and a few years, will be able to unlock Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue as well, meaning that he is not caught up to Goku 100%. Goku still far surpassed him, but Vegeta is now ridiculously strong. Now, when the events of the Buu Saga do happen, the Supreme Kai is shocked to see Goku and the others, especially Vegeta, with how strong they are. I mean, he knows that they are more than enough to defeat Majin Buu, as Majin Buu has no chance against these two versions of the characters. They're just way too powerful. Now, of course, this timeline, Goku's not dead. As we know in the original, when he fought Cell, Goku sacrificed himself, and then Cell blew up. Thus, aka Goku was dead for 7 years. This also means that there was Super Saiyan 3. Now, we know that Super Saiyan 3 is accessible because Vegeta unlocked it on his own. Now, of course, this is after he saw Goku use it, but this is no different than when Goku said that he trained and he actually could have gone Super Saiyan 4. He knew that he had it, but he just didn't know how to access it. It's the same concept. So Vegeta could go Super Saiyan 3. He just chooses not to because that's a useless form to him and he doesn't really need it. So now, after the 7 years, Supreme Kai would still show up under the threat of Majin Buu. He's not very worried though because he sees how strong Goku and Vegeta actually are, and he's beyond amazed with how strong they are. So he would then ask them for help. Now Gohan would still go Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2, and yes, Goten will still be born, and yes, Trunks is still there, so everything's the same. Trunks and Goten do have Super Saiyan, that's the same. Now Gohan would still become the Great Saiyan Man, and he would still befriend Videl. Now if you guys remember, Gohan would then see Videl be attacked by Spopovich, and this would make him beyond furious. This would then make Gohan transform into a Super Saiyan 2 in front of Kibito Kai, just like the original. This would also expose his identity to his friends Ursa and them, that the fact that he's the Golden Warrior, and he's also the Great Saiyan Man as well. As Goku was impressed by Gohan's power, he knows that Gohan's very strong. He then sees the Supreme Kai hold his hands out, as he would then forcibly hold Gohan back. As Goku asks what's he doing, and then Gohan would have his energy stolen. The Supreme Kai explains that this needed to happen so they can find Buu's ship, and they can kill Buu or get him before he hatches, as Babidi's ship is too dangerous and it's too hidden they can't find it. So they follow Spopovich and Yamu's energy, and they would then find Babidi's ship. Now, of course, the same events would happen with Vegeta easily one-shotting Pui Pui. Then we would also have Goku overwhelm Yakon. But the one difference here, of course, is when Babidi is panicking, he tries to take Vegeta over. Vegeta would actually reject it this time, not going Majin Vegeta. And the reason why is because it makes sense. Major Dragon, how does that make sense? Well, wasn't Vegeta not spiteful? The fact he wanted to go back to how he was, kind of like a midlife crisis? A little bit. But the biggest reason was because he knew that he could only fight Goku this one time, and it was taken away from him, as he never thought that he would fight Goku again and prove that he is the strongest Saiyan. And then that then led down to a whole river of issues that he had, but Goku stopped it at the source. He has fought Vegeta multiple times throughout the 7 years, dozens of times, and he's won every single one of them. Vegeta has more or less accepted that Goku is still far superior to him, just for the time being. So Vegeta would reject the Majin Seal, and this would mean that Babidi's in deep trouble. He would still send Dabura out to go after them, and Dabura would of course have no chance. Even the likes of Gohan, who's stronger than the original, because he has Goku around to help train him. Even Goten is stronger, but of course not to their level. As Gohan would be able to fight Dabura, and he would actually be able to defeat him. Now, unfortunately, Majin Buu would still be hatched. Now, how's this possible? It's because Gohan's energy was much higher than the original. That would almost give Buu the full energy. The fact that Gohan would then toy around with Dabura would give them enough energy for them to revive Buu. Now, Goku would step up to fight Fat Buu, as he can sense that Fat Buu is not all evil. He's more like a naughty child, doesn't know any better. So when he goes to fight Fat Buu, Goku is not really even trying. He's overwhelming him pretty much dead easy. But he does know how Fat Buu is very powerful, even stronger than the likes of Gohan. But it is impressive, and he is a strange creature, able to use his body in strange ways, stretch his limbs, and he can take a lot of damage. And he uses steam to get stronger? That's kind of weird, but pretty cool. As a matter, he gets some more steam he emits. Well, Goku would overwhelm Fat Buu. Now, Fat Buu would start to get angry, but he would then let it go, as Goku would then spare him, saying that he's not all evil, he should be deserved a second chance. This also means that Babidi would also be killed by either Vegeta or Buu, or even Piccolo, for that matter, even Goku would want to say, and Buu is now free. Buu would still befriend Mr. Satan / Hercule, because Hercule would hear news about a monster nearby, a pink blob. Now, Hercule is still looking out for the next win, so he would use that as to advantage. Maybe just plant a bomb and let it blow up, or the usual. Now, Buu would of course fall for it, but of course we know what happens. Buu is perfectly fine. As Mr. Satan would then try other ways to try and kill Buu, whether it be poison, bombs, explosions, guns. Nothing works on Buu. He's unkillable. Until one day, Mr. Satan would then befriend Buu, and he would begin to live with him for a while and hang out with him, and they would then become best of friends. Now, unfortunately, though, they also have a dog by the name of B, as a hitman would practically come over here to kill Majin Buu, or assassin, Hercule would then be shot and badly wounded, and same with B. This would then make Boo so angry that after healing Boo and B, Boo would then split into two beings, one being evil and the other one being good. Unfortunately, the good would be overwhelmed by the bad, and the evil was just too strong, and it would then absorb good Boo just like the original, using his own breath to blow the candy beam back at Boo so he turns himself into candy. Now, since this happens, he would then eat the candy, thus becoming a very diabolical being, Super Boo. Now, Super Boo knows on how strong Goku and them is. He needs Vegeta, that'd be perfect. And lo and behold, guess who shows up first? Vegeta. Isn't that not perfect? He would then challenge Vegeta, who would then toy around with Super Boo pretty much easily. Super Boo would then challenge Vegeta as he wants to see his full strength, as Boo is very intelligent. He would just make up this whole facade about how he wants to see Vegeta's full strength before he fights a warrior's death. And I think Vegeta's pride would get the best of him while Goku's heading his way there, and he would allow himself to be turned to a Super Saiyan Blue. What he doesn't realize is that one of Boo's antenna pieces are laying on the floor. It would then absorb Vegeta, who didn't have enough time to get the aura up and shield himself as he wasn't expecting it. As he's now trapped, Boo would then absorb Vegeta. Boo would then have his first taste of God Ki, as it's a Super Saiyan Blue aura but now a pinkish color and with dark reddish and black. Boo was now a god, and he was now stronger than ever, as Boo would then use this energy to then go right after Goku. Goku would have a little bit of a problem because Vegeta has gotten so much stronger over the years, but of course Goku's still holding back massively. He's not even trying yet. And so for Vegeta, while Vegeta is absurdly strong in his Super Saiyan Blue form, being absorbed against Goku, it's nothing. Goku would be able to allow himself to be absorbed, similar to how Vegeta did, and let himself travel through Boo's body, thus freeing Vegeta and Fat Boo. This would then make, of course, Kid Boo then arrive, as Goku would fight him personally, as Goku wishes that he can come back as somebody good one day, and then he would then absolutely annihilate Kid Boo, leaving no trace left. Oh, and by this point, they also did go to Namek, not only to get the potentials unlocked, but to also find Dende, who would then become the new Earth Guardian. So Dende has made a new set of Dragon Ball over the years and reprogrammed them, adding 3 wishes and more. As then, now that the wish was then made, then peace would then finally be restored. I pause for dramatic effect for the wish being made, by the way, as Shenron does prefer dramatic effects. But now, of course, cutting forward, then the effects for the Majin Buu arc would then go very differently, because Kid Buu has no chance. Goku would have absolutely annihilated the evil Majin, and peace would have then been restored. Now, what about the events of Dragon Ball Daima? Now, if they were still reverted to children, like they were in the original, Goku was still way too powerful. If Goma, now unless you could say that turning into the child version of Goku did weaken him massively, he would still be super powerful. So, when he goes to fight Goma, I think he would still be able to use Super Saiyan God. But let's just say that he can't. Let's just say that his adult body, his younger body, can't handle the God energy. So, what does he do? I still think he would unlock Super Saiyan 4 because Neva would help him. That form he can use, while in his child form or in his adult form. He would then use this to attack Goma and overwhelm him easily. Now, once when they're fully adults, Goku would just go Super Saiyan God, and I think he would 1-2 tap Goma, as Goma has no chance against this version of Goku, having God energy. There's 0 chance that he would be able to match Goku's power. And since this is the case, Goma would then be defeated. Dragon Ball Daima was then brought to the end. Now, I know there is more parts of Daima coming out from what I heard. If that's the case, then we will now dive into Daima more when the time does come. Now, what about the Beerus arc? Well, the Beerus arc will play a little bit differently. Beerus originally woke up because he had dreams of a Super Saiyan God, a being that could rival his power and give him a true fight that he's been looking for all these millions of years. But of course, problem is, he already has that, as when Beerus awakens, he wants to fight Goku full on. So Goku would then go Super Saiyan Blue, and he would then start his fight off with Beerus. He would handle himself very well, being so much stronger, and his power is almost surpassing that of Beerus, but Whis has not gotten to that part of his training yet, so Beerus would slightly win the sparring match, but Beerus was very impressed by Goku's strength, truly impressed, and he knows that Goku will become the strongest one day, he can tell. As for Vegeta, Vegeta would also fight Beerus and handle himself pretty well, similar to how he did in the manga against Beerus, but Beerus would then get serious and one-shot him. Beerus would then even offer Vegeta a way to become stronger. So he would then offer Vegeta to unlock Hakai energy so Vegeta can become stronger, but it's still early phase. He has a long way to go before he can start messing with all that. Lord Beerus has now awoken from his slumber, as he still had a dream of a Saiyan god fighting him, and it was actually Goku in his dream. Now, Beerus does know everything about Goku. He knows about Zeno's secret plan, but it does interest him as he wants to see the progress that Goku has made so far, and how far he's come with his training. And he is curious. He does want to see. As Beerus still has boredom, he is still very bored of no one that can truly challenge him, and he wants Goku to really push him, and he knows that he can. Having Angel and Destroyer Key, he definitely has the potential to do it. So most of the events would go the same, as Goku would not miss Bulma's 38th birthday party, as he would still show up there. Now, when Beerus did wake up, he would tell Whis that they want to head to Earth because he hears of food, and he's definitely excited to go check that out. So, Beerus himself would then head right to Earth. Now, this version of Beerus is different. He's not as cold and collected against Goku because he already knows him. And as well, he's not going to destroy Earth because he knows that Zeno said that Earth is off limits, so he's not allowed to mess with Earth no matter what, unless the Grand Priest or Zeno says so. So Beerus would still show up. Goku was happy to see him, and of course Vegeta and them were a little bit afraid of Beerus still, but Beerus didn't really care. He was having fun enjoying the delicious food that Bulma has so graciously given him, as he is the god of destruction himself as anyway, but he is the god of stuffing his face. But now, of course, Lord Beerus would then speak to Goku. He wants to see how his training is going. He would size Goku up and down, seeing that his training has come along very well. Goku is learning the sides of the Angel very well. He is struggling with the Destroyer side, as that is a big mentality to use destruction energy, and Goku's not as much of a destroyer. Even the likes of Vegeta, that's more of his ballpark, because he's more of a destroyer than an Angel. But Goku is getting the hang of both, but Angel is definitely his expertise, but his weakness is more the destroyer side. But once he figures out how to use both, he will become a force to be reckoned with. So Beerus does offer Goku to travel back to his world to continue training. After Bulma's party, they did this, and Vegeta would then tag along, as of course Vegeta's not going to miss on some training. So they would then continue their training for the next few years. Now, would the events of the Frieza arc still happen? Potentially. If Frieza did come back, let's just say that he did, and they somehow used the Dragon Balls to wish Frieza back, Frieza did train for a few months, and he came back with a new golden form. Well, a few things would happen for Frieza, unfortunately, because the likes of Goku is way stronger than the original, and the likes of even Vegeta is actually stronger than the original because he has a stronger opponent that he spars up against and he faces constantly, which is Goku. Well, if Frieza did show up, he would still have his 10,000 or so soldiers, and Jacko would also be there, the greatest galactic patrolman, and they would then all team up to take down the soldiers. As Gohan would also join in the fight as well. He's not as much of a slouch as he was. He did slow down a little bit because they found out that Videl's pregnant and everything that will still happen all the same. But Gohan is not as weak as he originally is, because since Goku was around to kind of keep that training part in his head, he knows to take it seriously, even with guidance from Piccolo. And remember, Gohan is such a strong character that even with some slight training, he's able to keep his power up and stay just as strong as he is, which goes to show you just how busted Gohan actually is. But cutting forward for Gohan, Frieza is still too powerful for Gohan and the others until Goku would then arrive. Now, Goku and Vegeta would then arrive, and they will play rock, paper, scissors to see who can battle the Emperor. And of course, Goku would win. Now, he does promise Vegeta that he'll have some fun with Frieza, and then they'll take turns. And so Vegeta would stand by and wait. As then, this is when Frieza would then tell him to power up, which Goku would power up slightly, and him and Frieza would then go at it. Frieza was in his final form, and Goku was surprised to see how strong Frieza actually got in such a short time. He said that it would be such a waste, he'd be such a perfect sparring partner, but Frieza's not up for that. As they then talk trash to each other as per usual, well, then Goku and Frieza would then go at it. Now, of course, Goku in base form is far superior to even final form Frieza. He overwhelms him pretty easily. Now, Frieza, of course, would then showcase his new perfect form. Cell reference. And it'll be Golden Frieza. And with Golden Frieza's power, he would then charge in towards Goku. Now again, Goku was still fighting in base form. This will show you how strong Goku has become in a short time, because Whis is really enhancing his training. Goku was not using any forms, as Whis told him not to. Goku has pretty much mastered all the forms that he has. Whis explains that you need to increase your base power and learn how to use Ultra Instinct. With the power of Ultra Instinct, he could defeat any opponent, as Whis says so himself. But now, of course, Goku is holding back against Frieza, as he is still in base form. He has his eyes closed as he's dodging every single attack that Frieza throws at him. And now, of course, Goku isn't even trying, but we would then have Goku finally showcase more of his power. Goku would showcase to Frieza what he's been working on, and he would transform into Autonomous Ultra Instinct, or UI Omen, which is Goku's first stage of Ultra Instinct. It's still not perfect, and he still has some things to work on, but he does have it pretty much down pat, as Frieza has absolutely zero chance against Goku. Any attack that he tries throwing at Goku, somehow the Saiyan was dodging it with ease. Every attack that he threw was being avoided. As Beerus would stare in awe and amazement, he was shocked with how powerful this mortal has become. So early, he already has a real small attachment to Ultra Instinct. That's incredible. So, Frieza, of course, was trying everything he can against Goku, firing Ki Blast, Death Beams, everything. Goku would just dodge every single attack. And he would deliver one powerful blow to Frieza's stomach, rolling the Emperor over on the floor, as Frieza was almost defeated with that single shot. Now this is when Vegeta would finally cut in, and Vegeta does want his turn, as he tells Kakarot that he's had his fun, now it's his turn, and I think Goku would then give it to him, because he realizes that, well, Frieza is really strong, but against him is not much of a challenge. And he did promise Vegeta that he'd fight for a little bit. He saw Frieza's true power, he fought him at full strength, so Vegeta would then step in, and Frieza was a little bit cocky, until Vegeta would then transform into a Super Saiyan Blue. And Vegeta is already stronger than his original self, so that's a terrible combo for Frieza. So Frieza was getting absolutely annihilated by Vegeta, but Frieza would make Vegeta drop his guard. Vegeta thinks that he's won, and Frieza was about to destroy the planet. But before he could, Goku would end it quickly. He would cut Frieza off by grabbing his arm and throwing him into the air, as Vegeta would look up in shock, as Goku would then fire a blast, killing Frieza before he could blow up the planet, which did anger Vegeta. But Goku explained that it wasn't out of anything like that, it's because Frieza about to blow up the planet. And Whis did back up Goku, explaining he is correct, and that Vegeta dropped his guard as he shouldn't have. Now the thing with the Death Ray wouldn't happen, because if Sorbet did try it, Goku would just dodge it with his Ultra Instinct, and he would just blast Sorbet away, thus ending him. So again, that wouldn't have happened. And if Sorbet did try it against Vegeta, Vegeta does not have the issue with his guard like how Goku has. So with that now done and the Frieza saga was over, what about the events of the Universe 6 tournament? As I think that would still take place. Beerus and Champa would first meet up, as it's been a very long time, and they would have a little competition. Champa would then give Beerus a boiled egg from a planet, and Beerus would give him simple instant ramen noodle cups. And of course, Champa then falls in love with it, as the flavor was beyond anything he's ever tasted before, as Earth has many delicacies. Champa was angry about this, but he then lets it go, as he has an idea. He gets the bragging rights that Universe 6 is better, and that he's better than him, and on top of that, he also gets to use the Super Dragon Balls for whatever he wants, and if Beerus of course wins, he can do whatever, and also get the Super Dragon Balls, and he has collected them, he knows where they are. Well, Beerus is now interested, so Beerus will say sure, as he is pretty cocky. The Saiyan Goku is already nearing their level, and if Goku is able to master the power of a destroyer, as Beerus is thinking to himself, he will be able to surpass even a destroyer god. With mixing of the angel, Goku would be an absolute monster. There'd be nobody that could stop him. So then we would now cut forward to when the Universe 6 arc would then happen. It'll be the same lineup just as before. It'll be Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and the others. Now, Monaka would not be there because Lord Beerus doesn't need motivation for Goku. Now, it would still be Hit, Magetta, Botamo, Frost, and Kaba. Now, Goku will still fight Botamo, and he figures out that all of his attacks don't actually work on Botamo's body, such as Botamo being out. What about Frost? Well, with Frost would still cheat to Goku, as everybody thought that he was heroic. but from what we saw, he's not as heroic as you may think. Being a bit corrupt and really evil, he was just two-facing and he was lying. Frost would actually poison Goku and basically kick him out of the ring, but people didn't think that. They thought that Goku was just gullible and got overwhelmed. But Jacko, who was nearby, would then notice as Piccolo then fought next and he almost won, but Frost poisoned him again, that he was cheating. He noticed the needle on his forearm. Now that Frost was then exposed for cheating, he would then try to sneak off after he was kicked out. Goku was allowed back in. As unfortunate for him, he would then come across Hit, who would then completely annihilate him. Up next was Vegeta, who originally just one-shotted Frost out of the entire arena, and then Frost tried sneaking off with the ship, and then that's when Hit found him and he handled business. But of course, Kaba has no chance. Now Vegeta is extremely powerful. Vegeta is the kind of character that you do not want to mess with. He's the kind of character that uses heat to his advantage, and his hull, aka metal, is so strong. This was a struggle for Vegeta, who was running out of oxygen in such a tight place because there's no air leaving. It's just pure steam. So Vegeta was struggling. But with the final flash, and Vegeta also said a mean comment to him, which actually does hurt his ears, Vegeta would then have knocked him out of the ring, and Vegeta would have been defeated. By this point, Vegeta is getting a little bit tired, as he even transformed into blue to go hit up on Kaba and basically beat him up. But when he fights up against Hit, he goes blue once again, and he does try to attack Hit, but none of his blows are landing, as Hit's almost invisible. There's nothing he could do. What Hit is doing is he's jumping to another dimension to skip forward through time, just a split of a second. Now Vegeta is struggling because Hit is attacking his vital points, and Vegeta is struggling. Even though Vegeta is in the powerful Super Saiyan Blue, it is not enough, as he does try getting the upper hand on Hit, and he is knocked out and defeated. Now, since this is the case, it is now good old Goku's turn. Goku would then jump up to start fighting Hit. Now, we all need to respect ourselves here. Goku is a genius when it comes to fighting, and the fact that this version of Goku is so much stronger and so much faster, Hit is going to have a tough time. Now, Goku would then tap into Ultra Instinct. This would then shock everybody except Universe 7, as Champa, Vados, and Hit were shocked at this form. Now, Vados can quickly tell what it is, as we smirked at her. Champa would then overhear it, and he would freak out as well, as a power like that should not be given to a mortal. As Goku has Ultra Instinct Autonomous, or you could just say Ultra Instinct Omen, very naturally now he can tap into whenever he wants. He has no stamina issues and no problems with it. Now the one thing is when Hit tries to use his time skip ability. Up against Goku, it's not going to work. He just dodges with Ultra Instinct and he catches Hit out of the way. He does overwhelm Hit with his raw power as well, overwhelming his time skip ability. And even though Hit does have adaptability, it's not enough to best Goku, and Goku would have defeated him, knocking him clean out of the ring. This would actually make Goku the winner, as in the original, Goku would tap himself out. He'd basically give up and disqualify himself by jumping off the ring after he used the Kaioken ability with Super Saiyan Blue, even bumping up to times 10. You know that he can't really fight anymore like that, and Hit was declared the winner. But because of Goku, Hit was able to improve himself a lot and become much stronger. Now, let's jump forward. What about the Goku Black arc? Now, one of the things that I think would happen for good old Goku and the Goku Black arc is, for number one, this version of Goku Black will be the same version of Goku Black. I don't understand why people change the what ifs massively to make Goku Black very different. Now, I understand some what ifs, okay, fine, but in reality, the what if is just a single part for the whole show. It's a custom what if timeline. It's one of one. So if Goku Black did actually swap bodies with Goku and killed him, this would be our Goku that we're talking about right now. And that would be bad, because then he also has the power of an Angel and a Destroyer that he has to try and figure out, which I don't think with his unstable mind, he would actually be able to do that. We would then have the Goku Black arc happen. Trunks was running for his life when he then sees Goku Black chasing after him. Trunks was able to escape through the time machine and find Goku and his friends. Now, he is worried about Goku Black, but with Goku showcasing Super Saiyan 2 or 3, Trunks was more than amazed, saying that that is more than enough to take this out and defeat Goku Black. Goku Black would make himself known as he has now teleported through a time portal. Now, from the future, he would then begin attacking Goku, who would hold his own very well. This version of Goku does not need Super Saiyan 2, and Goku Black was loving it because the pain and the power is making me stronger. Each time he gets attacked, he's growing stronger. He's getting more used to his body, and he's getting more used to Goku's abilities and how he fights. He's getting used to it now, as he's only growing in strength. Now, of course, Goku was holding back massively, but Goku Black would still be forced back to the future timeline. Once when they do arrive in the future timeline, Goku Black is in some serious trouble. Because of the fact that he doesn't know about the mortal that has Destroyer or Angel Key, they kept that very hidden. He does notice how Goku does have extraordinary power and a pool of potential that he's never seen before. Well, Goku would then step up to fight him first, as the whole thing is to destroy Goku Black and save their timeline. So, Goku would then step up first and he began fighting Goku Black, easily overwhelming him, ignoring Vegeta's complaints. Vegeta, I think, would then step up and take over Goku's turn. He would start fighting Goku Black as a Super Saiyan Blue. Goku Black would then unlock Rose, and this is when Goku Black would then stab Vegeta. Now, Goku would also have the Zeno button whenever he needs it, and this is when they would then have to leave because Vegeta is critically injured. Now, when they do leave, Vegeta's healed up, Goku would still travel to basically go see Zamasu, and they would still find out who Zamasu is. Goku would have a slight spar with him, and he would easily overwhelm Zamasu. Zamasu still doesn't know about Goku being special among the Zeno love, and the fact that he has Destroyer Key and Angel Key. Well, Zamasu here would then make himself immortal by using the Super Dragon Balls. With the Super Dragon Balls, he is now able to wish for immortality, thus he can never die. He would then travel to then recruit Goku Black with him, and they would then begin ruling over the future timeline, making a perfect world. Zamasu is not going to have that plan for very long, because of the fact that they have their ultimate trump card, Goku. Now, the one difference is Zamasu can't die. The way to beat him is with Zeno. Now, with Goku Black, they would not have time to the fusion. And even if they did, let's say that they still fused into merge Zamasu, it would turn out extremely bad for them, because Goku would just go Ultra Instinct, and he would easily overwhelm the merge fusion easily. They would have no chance. Now, they would quote-unquote defuse, as Trunks was getting his Spirit Sword ready. As Goku was distracting him, Zamasu would grow in size and power, also getting stronger. Trunks would then use his Spirit Sword to then slice Zamasu in half, thus killing Goku Black. But Zamasu does not die. He is still alive, and he then begins covering the entire universe in evil. As Goku has one trick up his sleeve. He would then look at his pocket and he notices something. He has the Zeno button. He would then summon this version of Zeno, tell him there's a bad guy up there and he needs to get rid of it, as they would then flee back to the current timeline. Goku would also travel back there as well and find the other Zeno and give him a best friend, and then they'll become best buddies. So Goku did fulfill his promise pretty well, and Zeno was very happy about it. Now, Goku did offer the idea of another tournament to Zeno during the Universe 6 arc, and Zeno would then touch up Goku on it, saying, hey, remember what you said about having another tournament, would you want to do one? And Goku, of course, is down for it. He says, yes, absolutely. So they begin setting it up. Universe 7 needs to begin looking for their team. Now, again, would they select Frieza? I think so, as they don't really have any other major character. You could say Cell, but no one really likes Cell anyway. Couldn't get to his final form. But Frieza would still be selected as the last guy, as the other Z Fighters then selected as well, with Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, and the others, and alongside Frieza, they were then ready to go. But now, of course, with Frieza on their side, he is up to some shady work, but we get that crossed over as Frieza is on our side. But either way, the guys are shady. But now, of course, since that's over, Goku and Frieza would then jump in the Tournament of Power together, and a strange team that we never saw, as we even saw it during the final episodes of Dragon Ball Super. We never thought that the likes of Frieza would actually work together with Goku ever and help defeat a certain character. We never thought that would be possible. Frieza was actually helping, because he also knows that if they don't, then they're all cooked. They're going to be destroyed. Nothing he can do about it. He can't escape it, and then that's the end of it. What if during the Tournament of Power, Jiren is instantly going after Goku? The reason why is because Belmod knows there's something different about him. He saw this when he fought Toppo. Goku didn't even go to Super Saiyan Blue. He was easily able to overwhelm Toppo and knock him out of the ring. So most of the universes were all watching, and they're not the biggest fan of Goku right now. Hit also kind of takes over Jiren's spot for a minute. Hit and Jiren actually have a brawl first before Hit goes to after Goku. Unfortunately for Hit, it doesn't work out very well for him, as Jiren would defeat him, and their match will pretty much be the same as it originally was, with Jiren overwhelming his final attack, crushing time within itself in his hands. Now, he's ready to go face Goku. When he goes to fight Goku, Goku would first go Super Saiyan Blue, and he would then knock back Jiren pretty decently. Super Saiyan 2, pretty well. Super Saiyan 3, a lot better. Even like some Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue, especially in Super Saiyan Blue, he is able to push Jiren to his full power. Their strength was so immense that they were destroying the entire tournament power arena, knocking so many people out. Even Kale and Khalifa were knocked out because of how much pressure they were making. It was blasting people off the ring. But now, unfortunately for Jiren, when Goku, even in his Ultra Instinct state, is fighting Jiren pretty evenly at full power, but Goku would then showcase more of his strength. He would then showcase his full power to Jiren, overwhelming him easily, and Jiren would have been defeated, knocked out of the ring. Now, Goku was a little tired after that match. It was an intense battle. Jiren is absurdly strong. He rivals that of a God of Destruction. Goku is getting above that in power. Now, Goku would just jump around, helping where he can, helping defeat Anilaza and Dispo and even Topo. But with Goku there and the other Z fighters more freshened up, they would be able to overwhelm every threat in their way and knock them out of the ring, thus making Universe 7 the winner. Even though it would turn out really bad, they would just be knocked out of the ring, so they have no chance. But now that the tournament of power is now over, we are then going to jump over to the other arcs. So, the likeness of the Broly movies. Well, Frieza was still wished back to life via Beerus' help. Now, since this is the case, Frieza would still use Broly and Paragus to go attack Goku and Vegeta. The one difference is, Goku was much stronger, way stronger. When he goes to fight Broly, he actually has a really tough match, as Broly even surpasses that of Jiren. But with his Ultra Instinct, and he's also tapping into God Destruction power using Ultra Ego now, mixing with it, that's a dangerous combo. He uses Ultra Ego against Broly, he's getting stronger, he overwhelms Broly and defeats him. But Broly is spared, so he stays on Earth for the time being. Paragus is still killed because Frieza still did that, so of course Paragus could die and Broly could unlock Super Saiyan. But Broly would stay on Earth, where he would be given some cool items via Bulma's help, and Goku would pull Broly aside to train him on Beerus' world every now and again. Now, for the events of the Moro arc. Now, for the Moro arc, it would go a little bit differently. Because the fact that Goku has so much power already, he will be shocked with Moro's magic, though. Magic is different. He is absorbing Goku's power, and he eats it, thus becoming much stronger faster because he's getting much younger. Now, the one difference here is Goku would just use the Hakai ability for the first time. He would be in Ultra Ego, facing off against Moro, and for the first time, he would then try his full power of the Hakai. Now, if a user is Hakai, and they are stronger than that user, their Hakai will always destroy. And Goku is stronger than Moro at that time, so when he fires a Hakai at him, Moro does try to eat it, but it doesn't work out very well, and he's pretty much done. So Moro was defeated. Now, as for the likes of the Gas and Granola arc, would it happen? Potentially. I still think it would because of Frieza, and we'll get to this in 1 second with the characters. Now, as for the superhero movie, of course you're going to have Gohan and Piccolo. That is their movie. That's going to go the same. If the Red Ribbon Army is still alive, Cell Max is made, Gohan unlocks the Beast form, Piccolo unlocks his potential unleashed, and he also unlocks Orange Piccolo, so they're doing great, and they will still have their famous movie. So yes, the movie pretty much showed the exact same. Pan was still taken hostage, and Gohan has to go save her from the Red Ribbon Army, where him and the two Gammas and Piccolo would then fight Cell Max. But now, of course, for the Gas and Granola arc. Now, for the Gas and Granola arc, it would go practically the same. The one difference is when Granola is trying to keep up with Goku because he is getting stronger, he starts to age rapidly. Now, as for Gas, if Gas makes the wish, he's aging really bad. And when Frieza shows up, either Granola is dead because of the old age, or Gas is on his last limb. Frieza will still defeat him. Now, when Frieza does use his black form, there are two ways you can go down this what if. Goku does tap into his God of Destruction key and his Angel key at full potential, and I think he would then, by that point, because it's been so long, he would then use that to overwhelm Black Frieza and actually defeat him, as Frieza wasn't prepared for him to have both sides of the power. He's never seen that before, but Goku does, and Goku would have defeated Frieza, though it would have been a very tough battle, but I think he would have succeeded. This will also make Goku stronger than even the Gods of Destruction, and his power is only continuing to evolve, so he's only getting stronger and stronger and stronger. But anyway, that is it for this What If series, you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Make sure to check out the community poll. Let's get 50,000 subscribers, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.
Go,